telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Hello, everybody. It's so great to see you this week. My name is Melanie McAllister. If this is the first time you've joined me for my book chat, welcome. Thank you for coming. If you have been a faithful follower or joined in a few times, thank you too. I have a wonderful author here tonight. The first time she joined us, Dr. Deshunna Monay Ricks, she read her beautiful I Am Valuable children's story, and that is still on my playlist. And I'll put that out in just a little bit. But today she has another book, her newest book, I Am Determined, and I'm so excited. We're going to talk about that, and she's going to read it in just a second. But Dr. Deshunna, how are you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you, Melody, for having me again.
Oh, you know what? Listen, you can come back, whether you write another book or not, which I bet you are writing another book. You can come back anytime. We can read your stories over and over and over. So it's always wonderful to have you on. Tell us where you're, about yourself and like where you're coming live from.
Yes, so I am a 37-year-old African-American woman. I mean, that's obvious. And I am a counselor at 2 different elementary schools. I am a mother of a 14-year-old who is, so vibrant. I am so active. I am a adjunct instructor for Fresno Pacific, where I teach in the social work department. I am an entrepreneur, and I have a small business called I Am Valuable that teaches individuals to embrace who they are and love on themselves and believe in themselves. And I am a lover of chicken. I love chicken so much. You don't even know. I love it so much. And I just love being outdoors and traveling. And so that's a little bit. Oh, and also I'm a woman of faith. I attend On Ramps Covenant Church. Whoop, whoop. And so that's just a little bit about me.
That's a little bit about you, and congratulations. You just got an award the other night, like for all the work you're doing in your community. And I follow you. I love everything that you're putting out on your social media, especially this month honoring Women's History Month. You have just put so many things out. I'm actually going to drop the link because don't you think you're most active on Facebook? Is that your go-to social?
I think both Instagram and Facebook. I try more Instagram because I think I'm more addicted to Facebook. And so the less time I spend on Facebook, the better. So I tend to go to Instagram first before I get on Facebook.
And so Instagram is I Am Valuable Inc., right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put that in the chat too, so that everybody can follow you. I love following you, and I found you through Alice Keeler. She introduced us, and I'm so grateful to her. And Barbara, we saw your comment. Thank you so much for joining us too. Yes, I enjoy everything that you put out. It's so positive. And just quickly, so the last time we were together, you were reading I Am Valuable for World Read Aloud Day, and it is a beautiful story. And you had the young people talking. Like, that's what you're able to do. You're a counselor. You know exactly how to get young people talking. Everything you put out there is very relevant. And it was really moving. I remember getting chills when you were reading your story and watching the kids talk. That was so cool.
Yes.
Yes. And so do you get to do these, do you get to do virtual read alouds very often?
I do. I just did one. I think it was like last week or the week before last. And you know what? I love sharing these stories with the children because they see themselves in the stories, or they recognize someone that they know in the stories. And so it draws them in. and they're able to, activate their empathy and understanding through the stories, which are good life
Right.
skills that we want all children to have.
Right. And this Friday is, it's a social emotional learning day. So this is perfect for right now, but it's perfect for every day, whether it's, a focus on social emotional or not. Like there's always a focus on that. Before we get to your read aloud, really quick, I had a question. Did it just drop my it just left? I was going to ask you something. Oh, I hate when that happens. I will remember. It'll come back around. But yes, let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and get started and go ahead and share your screen. And everybody who's watching, I'm going to make her screen big so that she has a digital version. So while she reads, you get to see the illustrations. Oh, I know what the question was I was going to ask you.
Yes.
Because it had something to do with what we were just talking about. Your stories are based on your life experiences, right?
Correct. Yes. So I Am Valuable is about my experience in foster care as a child. And it was from ages like 7 to 12. And yes, Melody, you are right. I am in the process of writing another book. And I'm going to tell my story in 3 parts. So children's, teen, and adult. So I'm in the process of writing the teens book right now in the midst of all the other crazy stuff I do. And then I Am Determined is a combination of true stories about my life, the lives of my relatives, and the lives of the children that I work with. So it's a combination of true stories.
Awesome. That's beautiful. Okay, well, you have I'm going to stop talking whenever you want to start. We are ready to listen and watch for this beautiful story.
All right. So this book is called I Am Determined, and it was written by me, Dr. Deshunna Monay Ricks. Again, you see the cover here. I am determined to just remind you to self-reflect on what you are determined to do. And this book is dedicated to all boys across the world. Just because this book is dedicated to boys doesn't mean that it's not for girls too. It's for girls as well. One mistake does not determine your fate. You are more powerful than you believe. Let nothing stop you from being what you want to be. My name is Derek, and I am a dreamer. I wasn't always motivated to achieve my goals. My life was pretty hard growing up, and I almost gave up. One day, I decided to believe in myself, and that's when my life changed. Let me share my story with you. This is my mama. She raised me, my little brother, and sister by herself. My dad left us when I was 5 years old, and I really did not see him much. We were all sad, hurt, and angry when he left. But my mama told us that we needed to be strong. And if you're looking and you have the I Am Valuable book, I put her back in this book. My family lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. I had to sleep on the couch with my little brother. Sometimes we had to stay with my grandma because my mom did not have enough money to pay the bills. I watched my mama cry many days and nights, and sometimes she did not eat. When I would ask my mama why she was crying, she would say, "Everything is okay, son. You just worry about being a kid and having fun." Although she told me not to worry, I worried a lot. I worried about moving from house to house. I worried about being poor. I worried about never seeing my dad again. I tried to focus on other things, but it hurt to see my mama cry. And there he is, worrying and worrying. My worry turned into anger. I got in trouble at school. I stopped doing my work. I did things to get kicked out of class. I refused to listen to my teachers. and I did not go to class. I spent many days in the principal's office. I was mad, frustrated, hurt, and I didn't know what to do. One day, while I was hanging out with my friends, we got into trouble and I went to juvenile hall. I was scared because I heard a lot of horrible stories about people in jail. The correctional officers were mean. One guy told me that I would never be nothing. He said I would continue to mess up my life. With an evil grin on his face, he looked at me and said, "Good luck. Boys like you do not make it out of this system." I was so angry that he would say something so rude to me. From that day on, I was determined to prove him wrong. When I was released, I was determined to work hard to make my mama proud. She always told me that I could be anything I wanted to be. She would say, "Derek, you are a beautiful Black prince. God has made you wonderfully. Greatness is in your DNA. You were born to change the world." And there he is, imagining what his mom said to him. My mama spoke these words over me every day. I would say them to myself when I wanted to give up. It was these very words that allowed me to persevere and achieve my goals. In the 9th grade, I made the honor roll. In the 10th grade, I was MVP of my basketball team. In 11th grade, I was the academic decathlon champion. In 12th grade, I received a full ride basketball scholarship to Howard University, a historically Black college and university. I was determined to be great, just like my mama said I would be. You see, that one mistake almost messed up my life. When I was in juvenile hall, I thought my life was over. I let the anger and frustration of not having my dad around control my emotions. My counselor helped me find my happiness. With the support of my counselor and the love of my mama, I am a better person. If you are reading this and you have made mistakes, you can still achieve your goals. First, you must believe in yourself. Second, you must find caring adults that believe in you. Third, and most importantly, you must never give up. I want to help you like my mama helped me. So look into the mirror, hug yourself, and repeat after me. And hopefully you're hugging yourself right now. You don't have to look in the mirror, but everyone, if you're listening, go ahead and hug yourself and repeat after me. I am beautiful. God has made me wonderfully. Greatness is in my DNA. I have the power to do great things. My future is bright. I can and will achieve my goals. I am determined. Never allow one mistake to determine your destiny. You are worth more than that. Hold your head up high and do not ever give up. And that is the end of the story. I am determined.
Yay! I love it so much. Oh my gosh. I love that affirmation that you have at the end. It's very similar to what you have in I Am Valuable, but I had it on mute because I've got kids going, but I was saying it and I hope others were too. I love it. It's beautiful. Do you get I felt emotions just repeating it. Do you get emotions when you read it?
Yes, all the time, because, I put those affirmations in the book because it's something that's missing in education. We don't do enough of teaching children how to affirm themselves and to believe in themselves and to discover themselves. And many of times children are experiencing educational gaps or social emotional gaps because of the lack of positivity, that positive self-image, the positive identity. And so I want to make sure that children, when they pick up these books and they read it, they can feel a physiological reaction to just affirming themselves and believing, not only just saying it, but also believing the words that they speak about themselves.
Yeah, I love it. I need to do more of this. Gosh, yeah, I need to do more of that because I think both of us know what it's like to grow up and not have those feelings, and then to be like adults and having to find that and put it into our lives. It's so much easier to help guide our children from a young age to love themselves. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I actually put a couple of links. How can people get an autographed copy from you if they want to?
Yes. So these books are on, they're on Amazon, they're on Barnes and Nobles, Walmart. But if you want an autographed copy and if you want wristbands and tattoos and pencils, because the kids love it, and I just had a parent tell me the other day, my daughter, she put her tattoo on. She was like, look, mommy, I am valuable, and so just having those little reminders. So if you want those, little merchandise, you can order from my website at iamvaluable.bigcartel.com. If you order for Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, you're not going to get those extra, the extra merchandise, and it's not going to come signed. So you have to order it from my website if you want the extras.
Yes, we have the extras, and I've meant to take a picture of that, and I will. Tell me, what has the reaction been when the I Am Determined has been released? Because really, it's not been too long since I Am Valuable was released, and so you can tell us the reaction that you've had for both stories.
Yes. So when I release I Am Valuable, it's just been a lot of positive comments, a lot of positivity with both books. And I know when I release I Am Valuable, especially the little girls, they love the book so much. And they're like, oh my gosh, she looks like me and she looks like me. And parents are just thrilled with the affirmations. And even, parents see themselves in the story, and they have, thanked me for even putting the affirmations in the book. And like you said, you don't do enough of it. This is the response of parents. So parents are now reading the books to their children, especially I Am Valuable, and declaring those affirmations over the lives of their children. And so when I wrote I Am Valuable, because it is pink and because it has a girl on the cover, the guys, they were like, but we have sons. And I'm like, but girls read boys' books all the time. It's about the message. It's about the message. But I said, okay, let me satisfy the masculinity in the males and give them something to read too. So when I was making I Am Determined, I just thought about, all the different stories of the children that I served. And these are the stories, they have some pretty hard experiences, but inside of them, they have so much good stuff that sometimes it's hard for them to draw it out because they're so angry or they're so sad or they're so emotional. And so I try to put it in a book for them so that they can see, wow, I can overcome, my mistakes. I can overcome the sadness and the brokenness and the loneliness. And so both books have gotten great reviews, and I'm just, thrilled and overwhelmed with the positive messages and responses that I've received.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said that like girls read boy books all the time. Like really we do. We all, it's nothing for us. But I remember when you were reading I Am Valuable for World Read Aloud Day, like we had mostly young boys watching more than girls and they were into it.
Hmm.
They didn't say anything about being a girl book, even though it's pink and I had a pink boa on and everything. So, but yeah, like these stories really resonate with young people, and like you said earlier, it does build empathy. And we're talking about on Friday SEL day, but seriously, like you can't have too much social emotional learning in class or at home ever. You just need
Ever.
it.
Yes. And, I tell people social emotionals should be embedded with the academics, and it should not be a standalone or a separate thing because children always need to be encouraged and affirmed when they shut down or when they think
Mhm.
something is hard for them or they're having a bad day or, they're frustrated. So academics and social emotional learning should go hand in hand. It should not be separate, but somehow
Yeah.
it's done separately.
Right. It blows my mind too. And it is, I mean, it's our social emotional, you know, aspect of all of the learning makes it relevant to us. And without it, it just is kind of like extra, you know. Hey, mister, say hi. It's thank you for joining us too. Yes.
Hello, Mister.
Oh, don't be sad. Don't be sad. Right. That is so cool. Well, thank you so much. But before we go, you've got like so many things in the works. So I know that you've already talked about you have another book, but you have Value Academy. And I know this because I've seen pictures and I go to your website. Like I literally follow you on social media. So I know it's not ready for the public. Can you tell us a little bit about Value Academy?
Yes, so Value Academy was started in 2019, and it was a pilot because my goal was to, like you said, embed the social emotional learning on a deeper level to educate the whole child. And like I said, education, the public K through 12 system says that its goal is to educate the whole child, but it really does not do that.
Right.
And so what I wanted to do was to ensure that my program did educate the whole child and teach children about holistic wellness and about, just loving and embracing themselves and figuring out who they are in this crazy world. And so I started that pilot in 2019 with 18 girls, and they loved it, and it was very successful. And then I had another cohort in 2020, and I added boys as well, but COVID happened and it shut everything down. And so I was thinking about going online, but the kids are just so tired of being on the computer, and it's just so much, things going on. So I just decided to, temporarily shut it down until our numbers get to where they need to be so that we can meet safely in person. Because my program is designed for the children to interact with one another and get to know one another and develop those relationships, and to interact and learn about what healthy relationships are, and just, learn about themselves through others. So hopefully our numbers will be, have dropped by August or September so that I can reopen the academy. And it's for teens ages 12 through 17, but I am working on a elementary version of the program and an adult version of the program because
Oh,
um,
wow.
yes, my parents, we have meetings, and they realize that, wow, I wish I would have had this training. I wish I would have had this knowledge and this content when I was a teen. And so
Yes.
I see the need. And when I see a need, and if it's, if it's walking in my purpose, then I will fulfill it.
I love that. I love that. And I know you didn't ask me like to share Value Academy, but I got into your website and I absolutely love it. There is a place where you can donate. Like if you're watching and you think that this is just as incredible as I do, there is a place on there that you can send a donation. And I wanted to put that out there. If I can use my platform to put, use it to put anything wonderful and share wonderful and positive things in the world, I will do that. I love what you're doing. And when you talk about fulfilling a need for parents, I mean, everything I learned about like being a constant learner is like everything that we as adults do, and it just trickles down to our kids. So when we take on that self-love and self-care, we are able to fulfill that with our children too. And like you, we just don't have enough of it right now. And actually, I think that during the pandemic, we needed even more. So it's
Yes.
such a good time to, I mean, nobody wanted to be an author, during the pandemic or release their books during a pandemic. But honestly, like these are really great books. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic. Like these are messages that need to be told like every day of the year. So I'm grateful that you were brave and you had courage to do that. So
Yeah.
kudos to you.
Thank
And
you.
again, I know you don't toot your own horn, but congratulations on all the work that you're doing in your community. I think it is so wonderful. You were recognized just a few nights ago for that. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in Fresno, there's a program called Hand in Hand Mentoring, and the program, the preface or the goal is to really mentor kids that are, and I don't want to use the word at risk, but mentor kids who really need it. I'm not even going to say at risk because I don't like that word. Mentor kids who really need it. And so that program, because they mentor kids, they recognize the works of others in the community who do the same, who don't want recognition, who are not in the spotlight, who never, sometimes never get mentioned. And so they honored maybe like 34 individuals who are doing, mentorship to inner city kids, to kids who live in concentrated poverty areas, and to kids who need it, So I was one of the honorees, and as I said on my, social media, I never need recognition for walking in my purpose, but I am grateful that someone notices the work that I do. And sometimes, people don't see what I do behind the scenes, all the, volunteer things that I do for free. Which I need no recognition for, because I know that I'm a healing vessel, and I know my purpose is to speak life into others so that they can be their best selves. So I'm grateful for, the recognition that I received on Sunday.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so glad. It's great to see. I know how beautiful you are. I get to see it all, every day. And also, so I was glad to see, and I'm going to say congratulations again. I'm glad that the city of Fresno recognized you, or maybe it wasn't the city. I'm sorry, but it was a group in Fresno. It was the group in Fresno. I'm in Alaska. What do I know? But I was very glad to see you be recognized, and because I see how awesome you are, and I can sense that just virtually. But also, before we go, I just want to say that your TikToks are hilarious.
See, when you have time on your hands, you do crazy stuff. And I'm just learning how to do TikTok. So I'm like, and the kids, They always make fun of my bald head. So I said, well, let me use this as a platform to make funny videos. And so, yes, be on the lookout.
I love them. Don't stop. It's so funny you say that you're just new at it, but like all the effects that you have on it, it looks like somebody that's been on it for a long time.
That's my son. He does all my videos.
Wow, he's great. He's great. I need to have my kids help me too. I'm on there for like, sharing my weight loss journey. But anyway, but yours are hysterical. Like I have really, really enjoyed them. So thank you for doing that. Everything that you put out, I have to say, and because I am a believer, I really do believe it's touched by God, that there's like this great spirit that is just all around it. And I'm so glad that you were able to come on. We didn't get to meet last month, or was it earlier this month, because of things out of our control. So I'm so glad
Crazy.
it worked out for tonight.
Yes, I'm so glad. Thank you for inviting me back. I think I'm going to do another book. I've been getting emails about doing more books and entering contests. So I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do it, but if the people want it, then I'll give it to them.
The people want it. Bring it. And thank you, everybody who's been watching. We're so glad you were. I kept up Dr. Deshunna Monay Ricks. I put her social media on the ticker on the bottom of the screen, and also by her name. I hope you will take a minute and just write those down or follow her wherever. I also dropped it in the comments. But it has been such a pleasure to have you on tonight. I really am so grateful that you were able to come and share your story. I am a huge fan. When your third book comes out, please keep me in mind for another book chat, or anytime you want. You are always welcome. So thank you so much. And I always ask my guests, are there any last words you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
I think I will leave you with this. Life is very unexpected and uncertain, and it is very important that you know who you are, you embrace all of who you are, and when life hits you, you remember who you are. And I believe it is important for us to forgive ourselves for the things that we allowed to happen to us, and forgive the people who did things to us, so that we can grow and so that we can show up as our best selves. And I think through these stories, that is something that I wanted to convey, that, through the adversity, through the hardships, through the pain, especially when it comes from other people, we have to learn how to forgive, and be able to move forward with doing life. So I hope you all are encouraged, and go be your best selves.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Thank you, Dr. Ricks, for joining us again tonight. And we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good evening, everyone.